So we are super happy. I don't have to strip the interior to weld a plate into the hull. This is really good news for us.
Hi guys, welcome back to SV Blownaway. Here's a quick recap on what we did in the last episode. And yes, our boatyard work continues.
And this week we address the corrosion in our anchor locker.
We are Natalie and Ian. We're sailing our steel ketch Blownaway as far as we can, for as long as we can.
You can't say that, you're pinching somebody else's words. It's Cordelia.
So join us each week as we share our adventure with you guys. Remember these cracks? We showed them to you in episode 156. This is the wooden plinth that our windlass sits on. We'd been monitoring them for a while, but now it's time to fix the problem.
That just there is the wood of the deck, as is that.
This steel plate used to be 8mm thick, and it's what our windlass is bolted to. As you can see, it's not quite 8mm anymore.
We're going to take the windlass off the deck, and the reason we're going to do that is a corrosion in the plates underneath the plywood sheathed decking. So it's a steel frame with sheathed ply on top of it. The plate underneath is corroded. That plate needs to be replaced. The access I have, I could cut it from the inside, but then I can't weld it from the inside because I'd be setting fire to the deck. So I'm going to lift a piece of the deck out, probably about 1/2 meter square. Cut the deck out, replace the steel plate, put the cord decking back down, and then put the windlass back on, and then fit the new hawsers, which I never fitted last time. Let's take a look. We're going to take the windlass off. I have to undo the bolts to get to these nuts to then disconnect the cabling, because this box does not come off because of the inner forestay. So 22, okay.
So while Ian is wrestling with Bertha, our windlass, I start removing the old Treadmaster decking.
Those that are interested, Bertha is a Lofren's Titan B, and I fitted this back in 2014 to replace the original windlass from 1978. That makes Bertha 9 years old, and she is in remarkable condition. To get the cables off. Right, can I grab your undivided attention for 2 minutes? Right, I need now, if I lift this, because the cables have to be disconnected, you should hopefully be able to get that box out. It's on studs, which is really stupid. But I can't swivel it because the cables are there.
You usually go off or up.
Hey, I've done this once. I don't remember doing it last time. I'm thinking if I lift this high enough, that should come out. There she goes. I'm pretty happy with that.
5, more than that.
So yeah. So it's been in salt water for 7 or 8 years. Very little corrosion on it. Quite happy with that. So having cut away the sealant and eventually removing the wires, it's time to lift this windlass off the deck. Now I'm fairly strong, but this thing, I can't lift it on my own. It is a 2-person job. No, we don't have shoes on, which in hindsight is probably a bad idea. And these short pipes are what are known as hawsers. They are where the chain drops through the deck into the anchor locker. And the ones that you see here are the originals from the old windlass. And your safety toes. Now the new windlass, the Titan B, came with new hawsers, with chain strippers. So we are going to replace these original hawsers with the new ones. The next thing to find its way into the skip is the broken teak plinth. Later in the video we'll be making a new one.
Ian's cutting holes in the deck.
I think there's plenty of holes in the deck that I didn't cut. New windlass. This is the old windlass, and then these are the old hawser pipes, and these are the cable runs from the old windlass and the new one. So we're going to cut this piece of deck out and replace this piece of deck. Like I always say, make a hole, make a leak. and it's fairly apparent why the steel plate underneath this little lot has corroded away. So that's what I'm going to take out initially, and then what I'm going to do is square it up.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate you watching our videos. Please hit the subscribe button. You would be amazed how much that helps us out when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. Once I know how much metal I've got to take out.
Okay.
So I need to get access, I need to see where the frame is, I need to see where everything else is, so that's...
And Ian is too big to fit in the ankle locker.
Too fat. And our next job is removing the GRP sheathed ply decking. Now this is approximately an inch thick.
I am. You're filming the whole lot.
Filming the whole thing? How exciting.
I think everyone needs to get this sort of thing on camera.
How to trash your boat.
Oh, careful.
Found a hole.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And this, people, is why we're doing this job.
Hey, I wonder why. I wonder why our windlass kept moving on deck. If you enjoy watching this type of video where people cut big holes in boats and then have to weld it back up again, take a look at Wayward Life Sailing.
Yeah, this is, as you can see, lots of bits of rusty metal.
Could have got away with just bracing this. No, I'm not saying we would ever do that. But I'm saying an unscrupulous boat owner could easily get away with bracing this by putting a piece of angle iron across. That's what I'm saying. Like just slap some paint, a bit of filler on it, a bit of angle iron across there, so that your windlass is still attached to the good bits of deck. And then the bits of rock you can't see. But I'd rather know what's going on because it's close to the baby stay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's holding a rig up. I want to know what's going on, so let's cut it out. I prefer doing this kind of work to other people's boats. And then handing them the bill at the end.
Yes, that's the problem. So those were the hawser holes where the chain went down. And as you can see, that's where the salt water's been getting in. We do have lids for them, but obviously they're quite low down, and the salt water over the years has just got into the metal. So that is why we are replacing this piece of the deck.
So this is exploratory really. This is like, let's cut back, see how far we need to go to find good metal.
Yes.
And this here is good metal, so I don't need to cut beyond, say, here.
And there is also a frame going across there somewhere,
exactly.
so we're
That's
trying
good.
to go this side of the frame.
It's good for me to weld to a frame as well.
Yeah.
Butt weld this, it'd be too difficult.
But well.
So Nat, is this the new crew quarters?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Put a ladder down. Just need to make the hatch a little bigger, because at the moment I can only get my legs in.
Ah, that's inconvenient.
But I was thinking, yeah, that would work. So all we've done now, we've drawn a roughly rectangular, sort of just square edges really. We're going to cut the wood out to that size, and then see what the condition of the metal is at that point. Go!
And I'm quietly confident there is only so much wood cutting that you're prepared to watch. So we took the wooden deck back as far as we needed to expose the good metal underneath it. And as you can see, during the course of the day, this hole got bigger and bigger. There's another piece of BA. Come on, pull it like you're getting a dinosaur off your sister.
Quite far enough, wasn't it?
Sister. There you go. And that is as big as it is going to get. Okay, take it up. All right, basically, I'll tack it where it touches, and then where it doesn't touch, if it's possible, I'll just weld it. If not, then I'm going to weld that to the hull. So I'll weld this down to, say, there or wherever, and then pinch it down using the clamp. If you can just stay inside on fire watch, because I can't get down there fast enough if there was an issue. I don't think you'll have a problem. The vertical drop is into plain metal, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's just if we get a blowback and a piece of molten metal goes back in towards the cell locker.
Okay, I'll try and hold the fire blanket over that gap.
Perfect, yeah, if you can hold the fire blanket over that gap, that's brilliant. And I'm going to start this off by spot welding the plate into position, and then using the clamp to wind the plate down flat to the deck, so that I can then weld it continuously the whole way around its perimeter. Okay, Nat, front end, port side.
I have to say I'm a little disappointed. I spent weeks painting out my new cabin, making it all pretty, nice new white paint, even cut a hatch in the roof so I had good access, and look what he's done. It's all filthy dirty. And he's closed the hatch. Apparently he wants to put the windlass back on. So, for those of you who are asked to do a fire watch with someone welding on the outside, generally you just remove everything that's flammable away from the area. We also have a fire blanket in place to protect from any weld splatter coming through, as we've got some wooden planks and things here, but we've already moved all of the sails. So generally all you're watching for, as the weld is happening, the metal heats up so much that sometimes if there's old paint or anything on the inside, it just catches fire. It generally just goes out and it's not really a problem at all, but all you're doing is making sure that it doesn't get out of control. And also if any bits drop down from the surface that's being welded down onto another surface, just to make sure that's all safe. So I'll show you what I mean. And then at some stage the paint will probably catch fire. And there'll just be some small flames. You managed to set the smoke alarm off in the lower saloon.
Cool. And with that steel plate welded in situ, it's time to give it a quick clean up, and then we will give it several coats of an epoxy primer to protect it from any moisture overnight. Now the next piece of the jigsaw is the 1-inch wooden deck. Unfortunately, nobody has 1-inch ply, so I had to make it. Like Amazon delivery. Again, this on Amazon Prime. Mine going to get charged $9 a month for it and never use it.
Yeah. So this morning we've got hold of our ply which will replace the wood we took out of the deck. Now we just have to make a template ready for the windlass to sit on. So a cardboard template with all the holes and bits of marker pen, the template of the windlass and the hawsers for the chain to go down. Now we mark that onto the plywood, and then we will glass the plywood to replace the deck.
Just a little job.
Yep.
Just something we thought we'd do before lunch.
Perfect. Go.
So cardboard template that we've taken from the windlass, and this cardboard template now is transposed to the wood. We've glued this together to make a 1-inch sheet of ply, which is our plinth for the windlass to sit on top of. And now I've got to cut it out with a jigsaw.
Here we have the plywood that we've just picked up from the carpenter. So that will replace the actual teak decking that we took out. And that is going to be coated with the fiberglass, with the epoxy resin. And then that will go down first, and then the plinth that Ian is creating here will sit on top of the deck once it's been fiberglassed. Pause the hole.
Yes! It fell out. Perfect.
So those are the holes for the hawsers, for the chains to drop through.
So you pretending that you made that?
So this is the windlass plinth that I've just created. I've stuck 2 sheets of 12
Whoa. Cut. No,
Hey.
no. Michelangelo.
Hang on. Everybody knows I do all the work. Everybody knows
Nobody
that.
remembers who held Michelangelo's brushes, okay?
Hold that a
You're
second.
just holding the brushes.
Hold that a second.
Here's what really happens when somebody thinks the camera's not
Leave
rolling.
a little gap underneath so you can get it out again.
Kind of craftsmanship that I have to tolerate.
And because this windlass plinth will be getting glass fibered, I needed to round off the edges, which we're going to do with our router.
So this piece of ply here, it's an 8mm piece of ply. This is going to be the replacement of the deck that we cut out. So this will be fiberglassed, and then it just needs to fit in that hole with the fiberglass.
Some heavy grade matting because this is going on deck. Our plinth for the windlass under there. And this is going to be like wrapping a sheet of paper around a football. Just waiting for the belt sander to come flying off the table and go across the yard to the extent of its cable.
Okay, so this is the ply. We just trimmed it to size, so it should fit in, and we should have a little bit of a gap all the way around for the fiberglass mat.
With the windlass plinth now prepared and wetted down with epoxy resin, we can lay the glass fibre matting over the top of it and wet out the entire surface to eliminate any bubbles or any delaminated sections. We will also do the same with the deck section that we've created.
GRP on a steel boat.
And thanks to torrential rain overnight, we are unable to fit the rest of that fiberglass into the deck. And with our launch date looming quickly, we decided to get on with the anti-fouling. And we will just have to finish the deck when we are back in the water.
Come on, you can make it into the thumbnail this time.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all, I want it all.
So child lock ones.
Which is why I asked you to do it.
So you can obviously see I'm struggling with the child lock, so Ian takes over, and it takes him a further 2 minutes to try and get into it as well. It's actually broken.
It's a childproof lock now.
I didn't know I was telling a lie. It's been a long day for sure. How could I resist your smile? Can we move on as before? I could wait for 1,000 years, but it won't do us any good.
Nothing very exciting.
Will you bear if you get the chance?
Thing of beauty.
Surely would.
Antifoul completed, blue hull repaired in places and polished, white stripe redone, couple of welding jobs, still a hole in the deck, but that's
I just love being in the boatyard, because being in the boatyard is just perfect.
don't drink the thinners. And as always, we would like to say a huge thank you to all of our monthly supporters. Thank you to the one-off donations from Mike and Tim.
Nat, hey Nat, don't forget the Patreons.
As if we would ever forget our Patreons. Thanks
Thanks,
guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Join us next time to see if she floats again.
Psst, Nat, does it float again?
Of course it does.